Good afternoon, everybody. Today we're going to discuss why we should create a makerspace in our school library. Our topics will start explaining what a makerspace is, the applications for our students, and most importantly, the budgeting for a makerspace. Our makerspace will be a place where mistakes happen, where student-centered, cross-curriculum happens, and most importantly, where future scientists and mathematicians get their inspiration from. Thomas Jefferson's makerspace will include stations that correlate to the student's curriculum, either math or science. So what's happening in that classroom, that marking period, that unit, or whatever. They'll learn to program their own video games. They'll have a take-apart station of electronics. What's cooler than saying what's inside that old iPhone? What makes a computer a computer? And whatever else the students show interest in. An example of a makerspace is shown in Bergen County. We're going to watch a quick YouTube clip of a CBS 2 News report about this school.
Have you ever thought the school library was boring? Well, talk to the kids at a New Jersey high school.
CBS 2 Cindy Shu takes us to New Milford to find out what all the buzz is all about.
Welcome to the library at New Milford High School, where there's a lot more than books. This is the brand new makerspace, and we do mean make. Kyle Henry is using a 3D printer to make a phone case. He designed it on the computer, then printed out. He made this black one the other day.
You could change your color. You have blue, black, white, red, green, and basically comes out of a phone case in an hour or two.
Other students are creating video game controllers out of anything, even fruit. Tristan Tiongson let me play along.
I never played a video game with fruit.
It's a very interesting game. I think we broke it.
Students can visit the makerspace anytime they want. Pamela Yashu built her own computer last month and loves taking them apart in the take-apart station.
This is a motherboard. Everything connects to this. This is a CPU, does calculations for the computer. This is a heatsink, which cools off the CPU.
And the list goes on. The makerspace was created this school year by Laura Fleming, who runs the library, and says it's all about making learning fun and inspiring innovation.
I've had kids go home and learn about things that they started in our makerspace, and to me that's a teacher's dream.
And it has students dreaming big.
Now I want to do biomedical engineering, so hopefully I'll get into that.
And makerspace has helped you feel that way?
Yeah, it has a lot. It shows us all the different ways to build things, and it takes you through step by step.
Well, the students love the makerspace. Next year it's going to look completely different. They want to keep changing it up to keep it new and relevant. In New Milford, New Jersey, Cindy Shu, CBS 2 News.
And as far as cost, Fleming says you can create a makerspace on any budget. Cost her school about $1,500, and she saved money by getting many of those things donated. But that is just, stimulating young minds.
So we're going to hopefully create something very similar to that high school in our school. All right.
Have you ever thought the school library was boring?
So, of course, we'll have to update our library. According to the article I found very interesting in the new school library, our library should be transforming into the 21st century. It should be responding to the digital age. We should be having those Chromebook carts open and available for our students to use. It should be a social place for social learning. No longer should we be implementing you must be quiet in the library. Yes, you should not be screaming, but having conversations with people and learning from each other. It should be a warm, inviting place. We should have comfortable chairs, tables for students to work on, and of course it should support the 21st century infrastructure, making sure our Wi-Fi in the library is very strong. So we're going to be transitioning from the old to the new. Our students are very digital native. They're so used to using technology every day. If you were to ask a student a question like, how long does a tortoise live? They're not going to go and be like, oh, excuse me, I have to go to the library and look this up in a book. No, they're going to pull out their phone, a tablet, a laptop, whatever kind of technology to find that answer. So we're going to convert the underutilized nonfiction section in our library that's very getting out of date our encyclopedia set that I'm not sure any student is using, and the storage area that we've been having for their TV carts. Since everybody now has a smartboard in their classroom and their laptop connected with a DVD player, we don't need those big TV carts anymore. So we use that space in our library and create workstations and tables and inviting areas for our students to work in. The daily activities will be very student-centered. It's all about having the students lead the activity. You won't see in the makerspace a teacher up front explaining step by step by step. Yes, at the beginning, maybe explaining how to use a certain technology, but after a while, the students are going to become the learners and the experts. Failures will happen a lot, as in life. Some of the best things you learn is when you fail at something. So students will be able to take from what didn't work and hopefully build upon that to find out what does work. They will be creators, not just fabricators. Like in the video where you saw the young man creating an iPhone case, of course you will have to teach them how to use certain technologies, but I'm not going to be looking for them to just be fabricating iPhone case after iPhone case, explaining what could we do, what could we make this better, giving them an open-ended question. A lot of thinking outside the box is going to be happening in this makerspace. There's multiple ways students will be learning, that there are multiple ways to get the correct answer. Just like in math and science, which is really why I love math and science, is there's not one way to get an answer. There's usually multiple ways. Problem-solving skills, using a set amount of tools to get the job done. The students won't just have, hey, I have to do this, maybe I'll get this, or maybe I'll grab something from there. They'll have to use a finite amount of material to be able to problem solve. Again, getting them to be part of a team and learning from one another, learning from their failures as much as their success, and practicing those science and math skills outside of the regular class, really showing them that it has a global impact. But why are we doing this in the library? The library, in my eyes, is a place where people come to learn new things. As a student myself, the library was a place where I went to research and find out different ideas. So what better place for them to come and learn about all these 21st century skills than in the library itself? So how will we fit this into our academics? Did you know that the phrase real world is written 26 times in just the 6th through 8th math Common Core standards alone? I was pretty shocked about that. And as a math teacher in the past myself, I wondered, how can I make this relevant? Okay, a makerspace allows us to make this material relevant to them currently, and they can see how it would lay out in the future. The biggest question I always got is, when am I going to need this in my life? And in a makerspace, that question is never asked because the students see it firsthand. So here's an example. Standard 8G7 is all about the Pythagorean theorem, having the students find Pythagorean theorem in the real life. So imagine a station in our makerspace, where the students were asked to engineer a kite. They had to figure out what makes a good foundation for a kite. Does it have to be too heavy, too light? All those kind of things. The trial and error of getting it up in the air. Then once it's up in the air, students can use the Pythagorean theorem to calculate how tall that kite is, maybe over a friend's head, knowing how much string is used and the difference between the distance between them and that friend. So again, students are seeing this, how the Pythagorean theorem can work outside of a worksheet or the workbook. Now, the most important thing is budgeting. As we saw in that news clip, we don't have to buy that 3D printer right away. We can ask for donations from local businesses. Old computers for a take-apart station is a great idea to get students wondering what's inside that electronic. Taking some of our budget from our nonfiction books to our makerspace. Maybe having and utilizing some very free activities that are on the internet. MIT has a great website called Scratch that helps kids learn how to code and create a video game themselves. And of course, donations from the community. Many of our middle school students are kind of getting too old to play Legos when they go home. So instead of just throwing out those Legos or putting them in the attic, maybe we can have parents come in and donate to us. So I really hope this kind of shows you about what the Makerspace movement is. It's very open for students to have their own ideas. The biggest thing research has shown us is that I can't just tell you exactly what's going to be in that makerspace. I need to survey the students, interview them, find out their likes and dislikes and where they think they fit into the grand scheme of the world, maybe future jobs they're interested in, and then tailoring stations to those needs. If I have a lot of kids that are into engineering, we can start building bridges and figuring out force that will hold up a bridge. So join us on bringing the 21st century and the maker movement to our schools. Thank you so much.